Okay, as promised, here's the second half of this combo setup that I have. KRA 657 boxes, they're twins. I found them separately, combined them into one. There's a common plate underneath them. I changed the caster setup. It was sort of my way of getting a 60 plus inch toolbox without having to outlay for a lot more money. I really adore the old school vintage setup. I wouldn't trade it now. Years ago I thought I'd get something newer, but now forget about it. This is my home garage. I've got 8-foot workbench, cantilever, no posts underneath it. It's bolted into the wall. Workbench vise is an original from England. I've got my hammers and pry bars set up outside of the toolbox. I found that they're taking up too much space internally. So I just made a couple of racks here. And everything that you need is at a quick grab, right from like a 2-pound or 3-pound cross peen all the way down. Top drawer, just like the previous on the right hand side. The right hand side's SAE, and I did a previous video on that, so you can go back and watch it. Left side is metric. So we've got metric snap-ons in regular flank drive. Then 2 years ago, I got flank drive plus all the way out to 22 millimeter. Some generic stubbies, blue point ratcheting wrenches, snap-on double ended, and then whether they're gear wrench or what, they're made all in the same factory over in Taiwan, just the double box sand flex heads, which are absolutely fabulous for long reach situations, especially doing like brake calipers and stuff like that. Second drawer, I should mention that, this is pre-lock and roll drawers, so the drawers all have detents, so you have to close them with a bit of force to get the detents to engage. So that's why you see me pushing sometimes or having to give it a tug or a pull. It's old school, I like it. My vintage set of metrics that I found. Guy had his brother-in-law died, and these were sitting in the roll-up bag, never used, and I got them. Did a whole video on those. They're in the longer content, you can see. Gear wrench, ratcheting wrenches, generic Taiwan double box sand 45-degree offsets, snap-on 4-ways. My only Mac wrenches, Mac fuel line wrenches or brake wrenches. And then same thing in crow's feet, snap-on, 18 millimeter down to, I think it's 9 millimeter. And then I got the same thing in gear wrench here. Haven't used these yet, but I got them to fill out the set in case I ever needed it. Here's sort of the money drawer. Ratchets, extensions. So I dedicated a whole drawer to it because I don't have a great big box that I can put everything in one drawer. So I try to limit the amount of pulls that I need to do. So, if I'm coming to do a ratchet, well then here's all the ratchets. Here's all my extensions, other than specialty stuff. I got 1/4-inch drive down here. Most of these are snap-on, not all. Some are Signet. And the round head ones are Husky. Surprisingly, this is like my go-to 1/4-inch drive. So I'm just setting them up in a way that I can get them to fit into the space. As I get more, I rearrange and move things out, move things in. Extensions are self-explanatory. The reason that I label everything like this is not necessarily for me. It's so that when I got somebody working with me, I can tell them, look, go to the third drawer down and grab me a wobble, and the wobbles are to the left. And, it's sort of easy at that point. They just got to read. So I've got 3/8 wobbles, 1/4-inch wobbles, 3/8 straight, 3/8 or 1/4-inch straight, right? And then 1/2-inch drive. And if I need more 1/2-inch drive or 3/8 drive in the right hand box, that's where I got the 24-inch ratchet, 18-inch ratchet, 24-inch breaker bar, and then all my long extensions. I didn't really go over this, but a bunch of these are Snap-on and a few not. 3/8, 1/2-inch, super longs up to 24-inch, and then I've got 36-inch elsewhere that don't fit in that drawer. Drawer's not 36 inches wide. Ratchets, we've got flex head, 15-inch handle, locking flex head, and then some 13-inch long. You know, I one guy corrected me. He's like, "Oh, you're saying it wrong. The whole ratchet's 15 inches long, not 13 inches." And I said, "Well, the handle itself is 13. I mean, the head is all the same, no matter which." The length of the head. I know the head adds 2 more inches, but I'm concerned about the part that you grab onto, and that's 13-inch. Longer extensions, wobble and what have you. Got a Mac, well not Mac, but Proto ratchet. I did a video there where I was showcasing all the ratchets that I've got, and adding to it continually. There's more space for newbies to be added to it, and rotate out some others. I mean, this is where I just keep my primary stuff, and then I've got my road box for secondaries. All right, socket drawer, 3/8 impacts, short, shallow, deep, Snap-on, mids. You know, I did a video on these mid lengths about why Snap-on sells skip sizes, and you would not believe, well, maybe you'd believe, the amount of idiots that commented in saying that I don't know what I'm talking about and skip sizes is stupid. It's like, listen, if I don't want to grab all of this, I grab this. I've got both. If I think there's a high percentage that it's just going to be regular sizes, I throw this in the box and I go. I throw this in my tool sled and take it out and work underneath the car. I've been under the car, very rare do I ever encounter something that isn't included in these sizes. These are all secondary line Taiwanese. These are actually a Signet socket. They're chrome moly. They're in really good shape. Good chamfer on them. I've beat on them and abused them a bit. They've held up fairly well. Same thing with these, Signet. So they'd be no different than like Gear Wrench or Tecton or what have you, even Craftsman. Snap-on 1/4-inch drive, Gear Wrench 1/4-inch drive wobbles, no name, 3/8 drive wobbles, Snap-on, deep, mids, Proto in the 12 points, shallow, 1/2-inch drive deeps are in 12 point. I do this for redundancy so that like if I really need a 6 point, I'll just grab it in impact. If I need a 12 point, I've got it in chrome. And then in this box over here, I've got it all again in 12 point for doing nuts and fasteners and brake components and anything new that's in 12 point, including 3/8. And then this is where all my big wrenches are, for those that didn't see the other video, in metric. New edition, just picked these up last week. Wobbles, Astros. Again, I'm not a full-time mechanic at all. I am a contractor. I own my own business. I've got diesel trucks, diesel generators, air compressors, portable heaters, trailers, gooseneck trailers, forklifts, support equipment, no skid steers, nothing like that. No heavy diggers, no dump trucks or anything like that. But I service all of our own equipment, and I do brake jobs and front end, rear end, bearings, minor overhauls. Again, these are Snap-on 3/8 mids. I really like the mids because it's like a one size. You know, do I grab a shallow? Do I grab a deep? And that answers that question. Extensions are all in here. So the idea is, again, with one pull, open up the drawer. Let's say I want to go impact. Okay, I grab whatever impact extension that I want, grab whatever socket I want, close the door, grab the impact, and I'm done. You know, if I'm wanting to go chrome, well then I grab whatever ratchet and extension I need, and then grab the socket here. I just don't have one big mega drawer to put everything in. So I have to be a little bit creative as to how I set things up. And then these are like a Tulex, which would just be, again, Taiwanese, like a gray pneumatic or a Tecton or Craftsman or something like that. They've held up fairly well. Again, I'm not pounding on these in a truck center every single day of the week. The reason that I've got a lot of 12-point, these are Snap-on 12-point, is I encountered small components like turbochargers and what have you had 12-point fasteners on them. These are gear wrench mid-length. Pretty happy with them. I got them just for dealing with having more knuckle clearance, not having to grab an extension, one size fits all. It's been pretty good. I just wasn't going to shell out the money yet for Snap-ons to do it. In my primary sockets, they're all Snap-on, and then my impacts so far, most of them are secondary line, except I've got, you know, these mid-lengths, condensed sizes. So piece by piece, weeding it out, changing things out. You know how it goes. All right, pliers. Most of them are Snap-on. Few of them are channel lock. You know, these ones are new to me. A couple of Irwins. They're really good. I like the Irwin in the long reach dikes. I've got the Alligator Knipex. Now another guy corrected me. He's like, you do not say the K. It's Knipex. Learn the frickin' language. And I'm like, well, Knipex is putting out t-shirts instructing us how to pronounce their bloody name on the back end, and the K is pronounced. So I would agree with you up until I saw all of that. These are just the secondary line of hose pliers and what have you. They're not bad. They're made in India. The steel's pretty good. They hold up fairly well. Just a little bit of overflow. Snap-on. Snap ring plier sets. More dikes, more Snap-on dikes. I got like a multi-pack set. Can never have too many of those. Pretty self-explanatory here. I like to keep things organized, and then, you know, if I'm adding to and buying more, well then I'll change this up, and it's been changed multiple times. Puller sets. Pretty normal yokes. This is an OTC bearing splitter set. I don't need to open that up. If you don't know what a bearing splitter setter is, you'll watch some other videos I did on it. Seal pusher driver set. And then the bottom drawer is pulley pullers, ball joint, large snap ring plier sets when you're doing front end work or transmission work. You know, the ratcheting ones. Multiple puller ball joint separator kits, slide hammers, and the bottom is Astro Tools ball joint and U-joint press kit. Very impressed with that. I've used it on lots of U-joints and lots of ball joints. Did all my trucks at work. Did my personal truck. And I did a whole bunch of stuff for the neighbor on his Scout. All right, so the top to this box is right here. This is where all the power tools sit. You know, impact drivers, 3/8 Milwaukee, mid-torque Milwaukee, Makita. When that one dies, I'm going Milwaukee. Milwaukee right angle impact. Another Bosch small drill for getting into tight spots. All my batteries. Chargers are on a charging rack on the other end of the garage. Electrical pliers service, flush cuts, wire strippers, electrical service items. Right, ran out of space on hex, ball hex, gear wrench, Snap-on, Mac impacts, no-name Taiwanese for getting out of a jam when you need a super big one for like a drain plug or whatever. And then this is just, again, Taiwanese secondary set of assortment of everything, Torx and hex. I bought this set because it was on sale for 75 bucks and it had all the 1/4-inch drive stuff, which I really liked. So I was like, okay, but I had to switch it all around. Like, they had oddball sizes in some of these that didn't make any sense. So I pounded them out on the ones that didn't and put the ones in that did make sense. So that's why I had to change this around. It was kind of stupid. Cutters, snips, bits, overflow, tap and die, metric. You know what? I had a really good, super expensive set and they kept snapping and breaking. When you get torqued up, it would snap that tap off. And this is a cheaper set and I have yet to break one. And then drill bits, you know, master set, letter drill, number drill, fractional set. No metric. Not yet. This is where getting cheap will kick you in the butt. The steel isn't hardened, the tempering isn't as good, and you go to drill something out because you're having a bad day, and this bolt is harder than your drill bit. Just simple, easy outs, drill bit sets, extensions, spade bits, kind of stuff. And then in here is just junk and markers. These are really nice. Work pretty good. Of course, the Snap-on one I did a video on. That one works really, really well. This sort of rounds out the set. And then just nut drivers. And overflow screwdrivers for pounding, bending, breaking, chiseling, you name it. And there you have my fixturing table, which I'll do a separate video on. So yeah, there you go. A little bit longer video, but there's the metrics. Hope you liked it. I guess the box would have been somewhere in the mid-80s. And like I said, I'm going to hang on to it and keep it and not get rid of it. So thanks for sticking around. If you made it to the end, catch you on the next one.